Bombers now with the wind at their backs. Brom from the 35. Down 12. Good play action again. And over the top. Now 6 of 9 in the game is Brian Brom. Clarence Denmark making the catch near the 45-yard line will reset the yard markers.
Well, again, one of the keys here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with the score at 15 is to make sure to keep that score close and not get into a situation where they're having to get pass happy, because it puts Brian Brom at a huge disadvantage. Where they can mix up play calling and have some play action happening right now, this is a very happy place for Brian Brom, and you're seeing the success.
Another quick hitter. Great move in open field. And making the flip downfield. Corey Watson. Another Winnipeg first down.
Corey Watson's just going to work into the middle of the field, and he knows he's heading into traffic here. Just going to settle down to catch the football. Watson not known necessarily as the most elusive guy in the open field. It's a pretty sweet move to run the defenders into each other there.
Hand off to Cotton. Paris Cotton explodes up the middle, down near the 20. One of the reasons that Mike O'Shea wanted to see Paris Cotton the last couple of weeks, which created the controversy. Paris Cotton, keep in mind, looked like it was his job in the preseason, then had a knee injury.
Yeah, and Cotton, an explosive guy, a little bit more of a burst player, as you see on this play. A nice job by the offensive line to create that seam. Cotton, a quick accelerator, turns that into a big play for the Bombers.
Brom to throw. And a low toss that time, an accurate pass, looking for Colehurt. You got to give the Blue Bombers a lot of credit in this one, so far staying in this game, considering all of the moving parts into the lineup, particularly at quarterback and at left tackle.
Yeah, quarterback making his first career CFL start. Left tackle, Jace Daniels making his first career CFL start. Right guard, Matthias Gosen making his second career CFL start.
Here comes the rush. And they got to Brom just as he threw the football. Stampeders loaded up the house that time and brought everybody, and so once again the Blue Bombers drive is going to stall here, and Lirim Hajrullahu is coming out.
Yeah, and here you'll see the Bombers have to take those 5 inside guys. Duron Mayo, the unblocked man on the outside. Has to be a hot read for a receiver, hot read for a quarterback to get rid of that ball to account for the unblocked player.
Hajrullahu puts it up, and this gets through. What a great season for the young man who kicked in Western. Brian Brom hammered as he threw the football, but they'll get 3 more cutting into the lead. It's 15-6. And Brad Sinopoli done for the night. Costly touchdown catch. First catch for Sinopoli of the night. Scores and then has to leave the ball game. Mitchell. And down he goes. Fumble football. Winnipeg may have it.
Mitchell under pressure, ball came loose.
No signal yet.
Looks like
Calgary does have the football. Blue Bombers converge on Bo Levi Mitchell.
Kayshawn Fraser in a defensive tackle. Second man from the left on the line of scrimmage. Nice rip to get underneath the tackle and just keeps working. Puts his helmet right on the football to pop it loose.
That last scoring drive for the Bombers covered 6 plays and 53 yards, capped by a 9-yard field goal.
Greg Peach is down, injured Blue Bomber in that pileup. Winnipeg team that we talked with him yesterday said, hey, It ain't over here. Mike O'Shea has emphasized that. It's playoff time that begins right now. They know every game is do or die. You got to win them all. You got to win them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike O'Shea has been consistent from day one in terms of his approach and his message with this team.
First-year head coach Mike O'Shea, longtime player in the Canadian Football League, one of the most fierce linebackers, one of the all-time leading tacklers in the history of the game, and of course got into coaching, went to Toronto, special teams coordinator, got the job here in Winnipeg, team out of the gate. Great record, 5-1, but they've gone 1-8 since that time. Says he can't put his finger on it. You know, a lot of little things here and there. Certainly the game against Hamilton, a winnable game they lost, but right around Labor Day, for whatever reason, this team started to flatline.
And to be fair, Mike O'Shea's never going to say it because his expectations are always going to be high. But in a lot of ways, that quick start may have raised the expectations too high too soon for this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team.
2nd and 20. Mitchell runs for his life. Nick Lewis has the catch and a first down. I would say that Bo Mitchell's leg injury is just fine. Did you see the way he escaped there? There's an injured Winnipeg Blue Bomber again.
I believe that's Demond Washington. It looked like Nick Lewis, just before he went airborne, his knee may have clipped Washington in the helmet here. You see the from Bo Levi Mitchell. But after Lewis catches the football, he sees the contact coming. And there it was, the knee right on the helmet. And Demond Washington lay motionless from the moment he hit the turf.
Awkward hit.
Nick Lewis's right knee glancing off the side of his helmet.
So as they attend to Demond Washington, we'll step aside here from Investors Group Field in Winnipeg and come back in a moment. Sign is Demond Washington even has a smile. It did not look good there. This collision with Nick Lewis. See that neck and helmet kind of snap a little bit.
Pretty flush shot here of the knee on the helmet.
Trying to get an update from Sarah shortly on Demond Washington. But again, huge conversion on 2nd and another direct snap to Cornish, left side, and he mauls that Winnipeg defense again. A Bomber defense that is last in the CFL against the run, allowing almost 130 yards per game. Cornish is rolling up some yards early tonight.
Again, it seems that we're saying it week after week. That run defense has been the Achilles heel for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers all season long.
Officials marking the ball, and will bring the yardsticks out near the 50-yard line. John Cornish just keeps rewriting the history books, does he not?
Absolutely. In this game, he has become the 3rd Canadian player in CFL history to go over 6,000 career rushing yards.
A guy who averages 117 yards almost per game. Former Kansas Jayhawk, New Westminster, BC, set a standard like no other in the last couple of seasons in the Canadian Football League. There he goes again. Cornish head down. How would you, because you have many great ways to describe people, how would you describe John Cornish if you were sitting there to someone who had never seen John Cornish before?
Versatile, aggressive, deceptive. I think John Cornish is faster than people think. He's stronger, more physical. than you expect watching him, more elusive than you expect when you watch him.
And on the outside, hello, Mo Price. Matt Buckner says hello.
Great read and a big hit from Matt Buckner. They've thrown this hitch screen to Mo Price a couple of times. Just beat his block. Nick Lewis, the man trying to get to him. And Buckner just beat him to the spot.
Big stop here for the Blue Bombers. Stampeders driving into Winnipeg territory. This kick will come against the wind now. Johnny Sears is back. Will let it bounce. And it's in the end zone for a single point.
Single point.
Cold night, but a big hitting night tonight. 10-point game here in Winnipeg. Brian Braum, bit of a nomad, you would say.
Yeah, he's been around the football world. His college career, great career at Louisville with the Cardinals. Round pick, as we mentioned, with Green Bay. Got a couple of NFL starts in his stint with the Buffalo Bills before moving on to the UFL.
Talked about his college years, highly touted. When he went to Louisville, he was in a fight at the time for the starting job with a guy named Stephon LaForce.
Yeah, another former Blue Bomber starter, LaForce. LaForce was the veteran starter when Braum arrived. Braum took over as the full-time starter in his sophomore season. His other Winnipeg connection on that resume, his list of travels that you saw, is of course in Las Vegas. He backed up Chase Clement, who was in training camp with the Bombers last season.
2nd down and 7. Braum, here's the rush again. What a hard toss. Right over the top, and Corey Watson has another first down. He's that arm strength. Brian Braum not afraid to thread the needle. Pelted it in there.
Well, we're seeing all the tools from Brian Braum in the early going of this football game. We've seen a bit of mobility. We've certainly seen accuracy from Braum. And as you mentioned, the arm strength with that last dart.
Midway through the 2nd quarter. Now it's some razzle-dazzle. Braum throwing downfield and shoveling up. It's caught. It is caught. Oh! That could be one of the plays of the year right there. I don't know what they call that play, but I'll tell you what, it worked.
And Mrs. Braum likes it.
Well,
there it is. Starts off looking like a reverse, and then the flea flicker. Dodge a little bit of a bullet there in the backfield.
That could be one of the catches of the year. Plays of the year. Certainly for the Blue Bombers, one of their best. Inside the 10. Robert Marve in the game now.
Robert Marve trying to sneak the ball.
You can see this big play coming from up above.
Got back to the line of scrimmage.
As Nick Mort was timing up his motion, you knew certainly he was going to end up taking the handoff. It was that extra little flick for the flea flicker back to Brian Braum.
Clarence Denmark makes catches like that. He's had some of the catches of the year in the past. That is a sudden nomination late in the season. 2nd and goal. Braum is sacked, fumble, football, and the Calgary Stars have it. Junior Turner smothers the football, and after all that, the Blue Bombers give it away.
Pressure's coming from the bottom of your screen. A couple of rushers from the outside. You see Duron Mayo on the loop, Lynn J. Shell's coming. Then on the inside, Sean Lemon. The big hit that pops out when loose. 5th forced fumble of the year for Sean Lemon. Joining John Bowman, Odell Willis, and Teague Sherman. CFL lead in that department.
Play action now, Mitchell. Lots of steamboats to Cornish out of the backfield. And he made two Blue Bombers collide as he rumbled over the 25-yard line, close to a first down. The Blue Bombers, that's been an issue for turnovers. They're last in the CFL and takeaway giveaway. How about this play, though?
And John Cornish, this is carrying through after he takes that run fake and just leaks out to be part of the pattern. Quick outlet there for Mitchell. He felt the pressure.
Talked about Winnipeg being last in takeaway giveaway. The Stampeders are first, and they feast on takeaways, turning them into points. Looking to do that again here. Again, the direct snap. The Bombers aren't fooled, though, but Cornish keeps running. And there's a penalty flag back at the 20-yard line.
A couple of flags down on the play.
One looks like it's going against Calgary. There are two different calls here, and a couple of Stampeders were also down.
Injured Calgary player as well.
Well, Brander Craig had the right guard.
Holding Calgary, number 65. That penalty's declined. Holding Calgary, number 85. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Couple of holds. It'll be first and long.
Craig had the rookie at a University of Texas El Paso from the Ottawa area. Here you'll see one of the holds, Dan Federkyle, who bumps out from tackle to the tight end spot when they go with this particular formation. Initial good contact, good position, but just held on a little bit too long and got caught. And Joe West blocking in the open field did the same.
Craighead is up. Looks like he's in a lot of pain here. Had to limp over to that sideline.
A guy who's battled some injuries here in his rookie season, was a starter from day one, opening day starter at left guard for the Stampeders. He got hurt, and that opened the door for Shane Bergman to move in at that spot. So upon his return, Craighead had been playing on the other side. An obvious discomfort here. Stampeders' first-round pick in 2013.
Spencer Wilson comes off the sideline. Fills in for Craighead.
Again, you talk about the depth of the Calgary Stampeders. Spencer Wilson, been the guy who had started for much of this season at the right guard spot. But it'll be interesting. Wilson had been coming in as a sixth lineman. He was the guy playing tackle when Federkyle would bump out to tight end. Now they don't have the personnel for that formation, as they had only dressed 6 linemen for this game.
Pierre Lavertu, their #1 pick, was scratched. Mitchell, sideline toss to the initial first down marker for Anthony Parker, forced out of bounds there. Under 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. Blue Bombers looking for a hold here and trying to get the football back and inch a little closer in this one.
Tough break for the Blue Bombers with the fumble, obviously, after not just the momentum but the field position that resulted from that big play. Gary Echeverry looks for that big stop, the momentum changing play from his defense.
Mastermind of a defense unique to him, and picked off the former Stampeder Chris Randall.
A couple of flags immediately thrown.
Now Joe West had been bumped out of bounds and came back in. Might have there been some interference as well, and I think this is going against the Stampeders. This looks like it's a Winnipeg turnover. They try to sort it out here, but how about this one for Chris Randall? He had this date circled on his calendar for a long time.
There's no infraction on the play. The player was pushed out of contact. It's a turnover as a result of an interception. First down.
Chris Randall, first time facing his former team, a team that he led with 4 interceptions last season. 5 in his couple-year career as a Calgary Stampeder.
Came over as a free agent in February out of Berkeley, California. Played at Utah State. And Bo Mitchell throws his 6th pick of the season. So the Blue Bombers get this back and have suddenly tied again. Team that comes into this game certainly not as well rested as John Hufnagel's team after a bye week. The Blue Bombers only had 4 days rest here.
Yeah, a tough break in terms of the schedule. Stampeders, not just in terms of the physical break, but just in terms of preparation and planning, particularly when you look at the changes that the Bombers had made to their lineup this week, especially prepping a new quarterback.
New quarterback. Some new faces. A little turmoil off the field.
The previous play is under review.
CFL command will always look at a turnover.
We'll watch for the other moving parts. It's the matchup at the bottom of your screen, Randall versus West. And so you see the flags didn't come down until late. It wasn't a pass interference situation that they were looking at. It was that Joe West got out of bounds and then came back in. But the ruling was that Chris Randall had pushed him out of bounds in his initial jam off the line, which is allowed. A player just can't go out of his own volition and come back in.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is the interception, first down.
So the Blue Bombers get the ball back after turning it over. Team that has lost 6 straight games, 8 of their last 9. Coming off a loss on Thanksgiving Monday to Edmonton. A couple of blowout losses in a row. Trying to right the ship. Harris Cotton in the pistol formation behind Braum. Play action again. Here comes the rush. Braum has to run, and he throws it out of bounds wisely. There's that experience that Brian Braum brings to this game. A lot of acts in their first start don't make that play.
No, decision making, certainly. You go back to his time in Hamilton, it was one of the things Kent Austin has always emphasized as one of his key traits, key attributes in a quarterback. And Brian Braum has that football IQ for sure.
There's the OC, Marcel Belfay, former head coach in Hamilton as well. Stampeders coming off the edge now. Braum in the pocket, and again thrown under duress. That's 3 times now. The Stampeders won't get a sack, but certainly altered the play.
Pressure provided that time. Number 94, Frank Beltre, guy who was brought in to add some depth on this defensive line when Charleston Hughes went down. Seeing a little bit more time in the rotation.
Lirim Hairelahu trying to kick it out of bounds. Will this go out inside the 20? It doesn't look like it will. They're going to throw a flag. The ball cannot travel in the air between the 20s. So not a good kick for the rookie kicker, who took over the punting duties, of course, when Mike Renault went out with injury.
Illegal punt out of bounds. Winnipeg, number 7.